Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to color in your templates in Silhouette Studio in case you wanted to create a guide before glittering, or in my case, I'm going to be sublimating a tumbler and putting my double-sided adhesive sheet over it to glitter right over. First thing we're going to be doing is opening our setup page. We're going to change our dimensions to a 9 by 8, which is the size of our template. Then on our guide, we're going to turn on Snap to Grid and make sure that our divisions are set to 1. We're going to center our template to our page, and we're going to zoom in just to show you how this template is made out of just lines, not full shapes. So in order to fill these shapes, we need them to be actual full shapes and not just single cut lines. So I'm going to zoom out here to show you what would happen if we actually try to fill this in with any kind of color. It's going to give us a pretty cool pattern, but it's not what we need. So even if we were to separate all of these pieces and release a compound path under the modify panel, all we would get is a solid fill. And if we change the fill to white just to get a better look at it and just select one shape, then try to fill it in, it's either going to give us a very odd shape or it's just not going to do anything like would happen in this case. So to be able to work with this template, we're going to select it. Then we're going to click Make on Modify to make a compound path. Then we're going to make these into actual solid shapes that we can color in. We're going to do that by creating an offset and an internal offset. First, we're going to do our offset and we're going to set our offset to a 0.002. Then we're going to click Apply. Without touching anything else, just leave whatever is selected already. You're going to click your down arrow maybe 2 or 3 times to move that offset. Then we're going to select the original template again, and we're going to create an internal offset again at a 0.002. Then you're going to click Apply. This is going to take a little while, but you're going to see everything breaking apart. Do not do anything else other than going to the Modify panel and making a compound path. Then you're going to scoot down with your down arrows until it matches up with your offset. Delete the original template and center everything to the page. So now if we zoom in very closely, we can now see that that offset created individual shapes. You'll see that it looks like there's like a double cut line now instead of single lines, and we have full triangles all over. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select everything and we're going to release the compound path so that we can delete that one border outline. That would be a solid color if we fill it in. So now we're going to select all of our tiny shapes and we're going to change the fill color so we can see them a little bit easier. We'll change this to pink and we're going to change the outline or the stroke to white so that it contrasts against that pink. So because this next step is going to take quite some time, I'm going to speed through it, but what you see me doing here is just clicking each of those individual little pieces while holding shift so that I can select everything that I want to make the same color. Now that we're done selecting all of those little pieces, we're going to go to our fill. We're going to grab our dropper and select the color that we want from that sample, or you can make it any color that you want. Now I do see here that I missed a couple pieces, so I'm going to deselect everything and then select just those pieces so that I can fill them in. Now we're going to select all of the pieces that we just colored in, and we're going to do this by going to Edit, Select by Color. This is going to take maybe a minute to refresh, but it's going to show you all the colors that are on your project. We're going to select the color that we want, and then we're going to go to our Modify panel and click Make to make a compound path. This is going to put everything together into one whole piece. Some of the diamonds that we have here in pink are going to disappear. All we have to do is send that to the back so that we can see them again. Now let's go ahead and color in the rest of the template. We're going to follow the exact same steps, selecting each of our little sections individually while clicking Shift so we don't lose what we've selected already. This is going to take a while, so I'm going to speed through this. I do want to mention that the reason why I'm showing you guys how to do this in Silhouette Studio is because, first of all, Silhouette Studio is a free program, and I know that a lot of us crafters use Silhouette Studio for our cutting machines as well. Now, there are other programs, for example, Inkscape. I might be doing a tutorial on that as well. And there's also Procreate. However, Procreate is not free, it's not expensive, but it is only for Apple devices. So if you don't have access to an Apple device, and that might not be very helpful. But if you do and you want to check out how to do this in Procreate, my friend Kim over at Bravo Designs has an amazing tutorial on that, and I'll be linking that in the description for you all. And if y'all are finding this tutorial helpful and you like it, please consider clicking that like button and consider subscribing to my channel for more tutorials like this. So for our last color, we're actually going to go to our select by color and select everything that is pink, make a compound path, and color drop that to that teal color. And that's it. We've finished coloring in our template. Now we have a bunch of different sections in different colors for this pattern. We can save this if we want to change colors later, or we can go ahead and print that already. So remember that we had a white stroke. We're going to go ahead and remove that stroke so that we can minimize that white outline. The outline will still be there, however, it's not going to be as thick, and since we usually will be pinstriping over this, it won't be noticeable, especially if you put glitter over it. I decided to go with a different color palette, so I duplicated my pattern and centered it to my page so that I can adjust those colors. So the benefit of saving it like this is that you can always go back and change the colors of your pattern if you decide to go with a different color palette. So this is ready to print, but first I'm going to grab a rectangle, make sure that my snap to grid is on, draw that rectangle around my template, remove the stroke, then group everything together. Now I'm going to be changing the size of the template and the size of the canvas to the dimensions of the tumbler that we measured out. This way I can save it as a PNG so that I can print it from Photoshop, but you can always print it from here or from any other program. And that's it, friends. That concludes this tutorial. We now have a colored in image that we can print to sublimate or just as a color guide. In the next tutorial, I'll be sublimating this onto my tumbler and applying a template over it to glitter it, so stay tuned for that. But for the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. As always, thank you so much for your support, and if you found this tutorial helpful, please consider liking it and subscribing to my channel for more tutorials like this. Thank you. Bye for now.